My wife and I just had our first child this past year. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. If you've never had a new baby before, I'll tell you what it's like right now, okay? Having a new baby is like this. Every day, on a scale of 1 to 10, you just get a bunch of 1s and 10s. 2 through 9, take a hike. I haven't seen those numbers for a long time. Every day, there's a bunch of 10s where you're like, oh my goodness, we made a miracle. What a blessing. And then there's a bunch of 1s where you're like, homie, just go to sleep. Like, you know how you're mad right now? Because you're tired? Just go to sleep. There's a lot of that every day. You don't know the joy. Oh, man. Yeah, my son's name is Robin with a Y because my name is Myles with a Y, and I'm like, I'm not the only person who's going to get misspelled at Starbucks Playboy, okay? Like,
If you...
That's how we're doing it, all right, man? And it's cool, man. He's dope, but if I had to describe his demeanor to you, it would be unimpressed with life. Everything. Like, we got a bubble gun, you know, to surround him in bubbles. I'm like, oh, he's a new baby. This is going to turn his mind to mush. And we surrounded him in just millions of bubbles. And he's just looking like... They were better in heaven. Like... And look, they pop. They're all gone. Nothing lasts. Like, I'm gonna go inside and chew on my foot for a little bit. I showed him Blue's Clues for the first time. I thought he would be impressed by Blue's Clues. I'm like, hey man, let's find all 3 of Blue's Clues. And he's like, they're all 3 on your arm. This show sucks. Though that he does that I hope stick for like his whole life into adulthood though. There's a few things he does that I do hope sticks. Like for example, he calls both my wife and I mama. I hope that sticks till he's in it all. Absolutely. Because you know, I would love to be able to introduce and be like, hi, I'm Robin's mother. Nice to meet you. And you know 1 out of every 10 times you're gonna get one guy that's like, you're his father, and it's like, this is gonna bug you for a month and a half. Another thing he does is when you go to change him and you take off his pants, he laughs uncontrollably because he thinks that you're going to play peekaboo with him. I hope that sticks for his whole life. Take off his pants, he loses it, man. Like, he's in the changing room at Target. They're like, sir, are you okay in there? He's like, yes. These pants are hilarious. They've got bells on the bottoms. As soon as I learn how to whistle, it's all over, man. Yeah, man. Being a baby owner is weird. It's very strange. Looks uncomfortable, honestly. Like, my wife and I were watching him sleep on the baby monitor a little while ago, and he was dead asleep. But then all of a sudden... My wife freaked out. She's like, oh my goodness, what was that? Should we take him to the hospital? Like, calm down. He probably just had a dream about taxes. I remember my first dream about taxes. It sounded exactly like that. Or the opposite happens, right? You got a baby losing their mind, won't stop crying. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh no, did I break him? What happened? But I don't check right away. Because if he wakes up, this is going to ruin my night. But if he's dead, this is going to ruin my life. So, are you okay? Okay, here we go. And when he was brand new, my wife was kind of upset. She came to me, she's like, he smiles at you more than he smiles at me. And I'm like, that may be true, but in your defense, new babies are super dumb. I'm just a series of colors and shapes that he recognizes, man. Like, look at my head. He thinks this is a normal man's head. Like, he sees other guys and he's just like, oh, why don't you look like a clown? Like, he just... so unimpressed by everything, man. He's a very wild kid, and I'm just like, don't worry about it. Don't take it too personally. He can't even vote yet. Wait till he's a toddler, you know. He just learned last week his hands are attached to him. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I will say this, I'm a different person now. You know, there's me before baby, and now there's me after baby. I'm a different human being. I was fortunate enough to be around my son every day of his life for the first 6 months of his life. And that's super cool because when you're around a baby, you lock eyes with them. You're like, oh, look at you, big, strong man, holding up his head and everything. Look at you, look at you. And you should do that with babies. But then I left home for the first time, and I saw an adult. Yeah, I went to Starbucks and locked eyes with the barista, and I was like, oh, who's a big, strong barista? Look at you, making coffee, holding up your head and everything. Myles with an eye, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm different now at gyms, that's another thing. Like I used to go to the gym, and I used to be impressed when I'd see dudes curling giant dumbbells. I'm like, oh, look at that guy, he's so strong. Look at him curling those dumbbells now, I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, yeah, homie, you can curl that dumbbell, but can you soothe it? Can you bounce it on your hip for 45 minutes while it screams? No, you cannot, sir. You can lift 200 pounds above your head, but it didn't even puke on you. Look at you staying dry for the duration of your activity. I could deadlift 400 pounds. Yeah, man, but then it didn't even try and get away from you one time. You just got to pick it up and put it back down like nothing was wrong. It didn't try and Vader salt out of your hands. It didn't decide to test the structural integrity of its spine while you were doing a rep. Less deadlifts, more dadlifts. I'm impressed by those. But it didn't help my case when I lock eyes with the guy across the gym and I'm like, who's the big, strong man? And he was into it. He's like, I am. Now we're lifting partners. His name is Hank. He's a cool guy. I help him with his squats. Man. You also get a lot of baby merch when you get a baby. That's another thing that happens, man. They got all the merchandise. We got a baby wrap, which is pretty cool. It's just a long cloth that you wrap around yourself in 37 different ways. You jam him in your chest, and he sleeps for a month and a half. It's such a cool invention. And to me, doing that is like the same thing as like ladies, when you get out the shower and you do that thing to your head with a towel where you make your head a monument to soft serve ice cream. And gentlemen, you can always tell what kind of mood your lady is in when she does that, where her eyebrows rest on her face. Like, because if they sit real low and relaxed like a cholo, it's just like, okay, that's fine. It's like, hey, Holmes, let's get some snacks. Like, but if she got them in the middle of her head back here, like Tyra Banks, it's like, oh, I guess the laundry's doing itself today. Baby, you gotta loosen that up. You got veins popping out where I don't think they're supposed to be popping out.
Is off.
This. And I wanted to teach my wife how to do the rap, you know, because I was like, hey, man, it's a cool feeling to do the rap and then have him tucked in there, man. Let me teach you how to do it. She's like, yeah, Myles, you know what else is a cool feeling? Growing him and carrying him for 9 months. I'm sure the rap is the exact same feeling, though. It's your turn to carry him for 9 months, boo-boo. What are you going to do? Another cool thing we got is we got a baby monitor with a night vision camera on it so we can watch him sleep. Super cool invention. I just don't like the name of it. It's called the Super Uncle. Right? Tell me you had a creepy uncle without telling me you had a creepy uncle. I would have loved to have sat in on that meeting when they were coming up with that name. Like, all right, we got a monitor, watches your baby sleep. What's that remind you of? Oh, my Uncle Dale, for sure. He used to watch me sleep all the time growing up. And we didn't afford AC, so he would just breathe on me. I miss Uncle Dale.